I'm live. Thanks, Reno. It tells me you're live. Here we are, Sunday morning, 10 o'clock. Okay. Today's plan. I've written out today's plan. Today's plan is on my list. Morning. Today's plan is on my list of going through the 5 abdominal core, I'm going to call them core exercises. A stomach series, a series for your stomach, and that's where we're going to start. We're going to do the 5, and I might do a little bit of tweaking here and there and talking about them, because sometimes you see videos of people just going and getting into it. So, you know, how do you modify them if your back is hurting, or if your neck is hurting, or if your shoulders are hurting? Okay, so how to do a different version. And I need one of these. Okay, so lie down on your back when you're ready. Bend your knees. Put my list there. And really thinking about the position of your head. The position of your head. Okay, so if you can, if your eyes can see the ceiling, then you're okay. If your eyes can see the wall behind you, then your chin is lifted a little bit, and you might be doing this with your neck. Might be doing this. You're lengthening the front of your neck and tightening the back of your neck. So that's going to create a little bit of an imbalance, and it's also going to create some issues down your spine, and it might actually switch off. What you're trying to achieve here is to get some work in the abdominal area, which includes your lower back and your diaphragm. So can you keep a balance between the front of your neck and the back of your neck? Can you keep a balance between the two? So your chin is fairly close towards your throat. So you have a length in the back of your neck. Yes, so the top 2 vertebrae in the back of your neck, if they had little lights on them, little beams coming out, they'd be able to beam down towards the floor, go through the floor. Yes. Oh. Okay, so let's start by flattening and arching the lower back. So your feet are flat on the floor as if they're standing, and your knees are facing the ceiling. And as you start to press the feet down into the floor, your back will flatten, and then the back will arch. So you're finding this rhythm and how it feels today, how your pelvis feels. If you're rolling onto one side more than the other, or are you in the middle? Are you in the middle of your pelvis? And as the back flattens, can you notice the pubic bone comes towards your ribs? As the back arches, can you notice the distance between the two? So we're just going to bring the attention to finding the midpoint halfway. Picking up one foot and then picking up the other. Lifting the head and shoulders so the chin gets closer towards your rib cage or towards your throat, and your hands are down here. And we start to move the arms up and down. So chin stays down. See if you can come off your shoulder blades. Now, if your neck starts to ache, put your head down on your blanket or on your towel. So your feet are in line with your knees. See if you can breathe in for 5 movements of the arms and 5 movements as you breathe out. So 5 pumps of the arms as you breathe in and 5 as you breathe out. And then hug your knees in, let your head rest. So anytime during any of the exercises that we're going to do now, then if your neck aches, bring your head down straight away, always, yes? So we're going to start off with a single leg stretch. So I'm going to hug my right knee in, and my left leg's going to go straight up to the ceiling, straight line, more or less, lengthening through the back of my knee. Now my chin's going to go towards my throat, so I'm resting on the very tips of the bottom of my shoulder blades. I'm not down here, I'm further up, and then I'm going to swap legs. And then I'm going to swap legs. Now be aware of the outside of your leg. As you bring the knee in, the outside of your leg, can you reach for that ankle? The outside of your leg, can you reach for the ankle? With the outside hand, reach for the ankle. With the outside hand, reach for the ankle. Remember, if your neck starts to ache, bring your head down. Making it more challenging, that straight leg goes lower. But if you find then your back is complaining, that leg stays high. Notice what's happening to your spine. Being aware, have that focus, concentration. And then hug both knees in, rest. Bring the attention back to your breath for a moment. So it's not in your shoulders, you're not clenching your jaw. And we're going to the double leg stretch. We're going to keep the legs here for a moment. Just going to keep the legs hugged in. If that's not comfortable for you, bring your feet down to the floor. Let the arms go back behind you. Have you got space to open them up out and around and come back in? If you don't have space for that, take them straight back and straight up. Now I want you to imagine that you've got a rolled up towel or a blanket and it's underneath your rib cage. So I'm going to put mine underneath my ribs so I can show you what I mean here. So my ribs stay down on that blanket. And you'll see when you pick up your feet, it gives you a little bit of feedback for your ribs to stay down. You have a tendency to arch your back and let go of the abdominals as you're taking the arms back behind your head. You'll tend to create less connection here and more tightness in your back. We don't really want to do, I don't want you to hurt your back, obviously. If you're doing Pilates, you don't need to hurt your back. So, double leg stretch. So you've got the arms now. I'm going to match that with the legs. So let the hands be on the outside of the legs, bring the knees together. The legs reach away, the arms go back, come down and come back in. So your chin stays down. Your head can lift throughout the movement, stays lifted. And again, if your neck aches, bring it down. So head, chin towards your throat, so your head's lifted. You're off your shoulder blades. Keep the legs together. Sweep around with your arms. Don't forget to breathe. always an issue when you're doing abdominal stuff. Rest. And then we're going to a single leg straight. So lift yourself back up. Take your hands behind one of your calves and the other leg reaches away. And then you switch legs. And then you switch legs. So pull the leg towards you as you breathe out. Breathe in, switch. Exhale. Breathe in, switch. Exhale. Breathe in, switch. Exhale. Now, if you can't reach your calf, you reach behind the thigh. Not behind the knee, behind the thigh. Trying to lift you up a little bit higher. And then rest. Ooh. Okay, so hands behind the head, elbows out wide, the legs are together, stretch the legs away. So feet are going to be in this V position, and you're going to let both legs come down and then go back up. So you're trying to keep the knees rotated outwards, the legs together, exhaling as you go. Inhale as you come back up. So make it more challenging. Lift the head, elbows wide. And you're trying not to let the ribs flare outwards. So again, imagine you've got this rolled up towel underneath the ribs as you lift and lower. Exhale as you go. Inhale as you lift. The lower you go, the more challenging is to keep your ribs down. So if I go too far, then you'll see I get to a point where I lose my control and this starts to pooch out a bit. That's too far, because then I'll start to tighten up my jaw and I'll start to tighten up my breath and I'll be compensating and I won't be getting the work that I'm trying to achieve. And then hug in. So we're going to do the crisscross, which is the last of the 5 of the stomach series. And let's do 2 different versions. So bring your feet down, put your hands behind your head. Lift your head and look towards one knee. Come back, twist, go to the other side. Now your pelvis stays still. You're not shifting from side to side as you twist. You're trying to come off both of your shoulder blades. Reach long and wide with the elbows as your eyes look towards that back elbow. So you get to use your eye muscles as well. Always a bonus. I think eyes and feet get lost and left out in a lot of fitness things. Okay, so we're going to come back. I'm going to pick up the feet. So I'm going to point the toes And you're going to lift and twist towards one knee. Look towards your back elbow and let the other leg reach away. Change sides. Look towards the back elbow as you twist. Keep the pelvis still. So you have a sense of quiet around the pelvis. You're rotating from the rib cage. The front ribs, my right rib's going towards my left hip. And as I come back, we come back to the middle, and then my left goes towards my right, comes back to the middle and rests. Lovely. And I'll rest here for a moment. Come back to your breath. So we're going to put those all together. Okay. I'm going to put them all together. So you're going to lift your head, hold onto one leg, pick the other leg up and take it up towards the ceiling. Reach for the outside of your ankle. Switch. So the knee that's coming in, reach for the outside ankle. Switch. Leg straight up or lower down. Depending on what's going on in your back. Be aware of your spine. Ribs stay down. Work at a pace that you can notice your focus, precision, awareness, what's happening. And then double leg stretch. The legs come together. Arms reach away, legs reach away. You sweep down and around and come back in. Neck can relax if you're starting to give you a little bit of grief. Last one. And then we'll go into the single leg. So hold the legs up there, behind one leg, hold that, and swap. Remember, you don't have to hold the calf. You can hold behind the thigh. Keep the tailbone down, chin down, or neck rested down on the floor. Last one. And then bring the legs together. Let's take the feet in a V shape, hands behind the head, drop the legs and lift the legs. Exhale as you go, inhale as you lift. Chin stays down. Check that your ribs aren't lifting. Last one. Bring the knees in, hands stay behind the head, twist towards one knee, take the other leg away, change sides. Look towards your back elbow. Can you come off both shoulder blades? So you're starting to get a bit tired now. So just check you're not using your jaw. Your eyes are relaxed, your jaw is soft. Last one. Hug the knees in. Bring the feet down. So notice your feet now back on the floor. Let your arms relax. Let the palms face the ceiling. Come back to arching and flattening the back. Exhale as it goes. Inhale as it releases. And then just roll yourself up into a bridge. Lift your hips. Let the knees reach away from you. So open it all up. Open up your hips. Let the knees reach away. Let the shins feel like they're reaching away from you. And then come back down. And then roll yourself over onto your front. And then come up onto your elbows. It's quite nice to be in the position after you've done some abdominal work. And just breathe here for a moment. Notice your lower abdominals. Breathe into your lower belly. Can you do that? Can you feel you breathing into your lower back as well? Yeah. Can you feel that your heart is lifting up between your shoulder blades? The lower ribs are off the floor. And you're equal on the right and left side of your pelvis. And then we'll go into a little bit of back extension work. So I'm going to a swan dive. So bending the elbows, hands stay on the floor, push the floor away. And then slowly come back down, bending the elbows to come back down. And slowly lifting back up. Now you don't have to come up all the way. You may feel that this is enough on your elbows. That's totally fine. But just be aware as you come up how much of your chest bone is lifting. just come up a little bit. So the top part of your chest bone comes up and then comes back down. And you just notice which parts of your chest bone are coming off the floor. And each time, feel that you can lift a little bit more of your chest bone. Allowing the legs to stay equal. It's nice to do some back extension work after you've done some core work. Balance out the front and the back together. And then come back into child's pose. Push yourself back into child's pose. Letting your sit bones reach for your heels and your chest bone reach for the floor. And then roll yourself up. Come up to your seated position. Put your feet over onto one side. Now, if you find that tricky to sit like that, roll yourself a blanket or a towel and put it underneath one of your sit bones. It's underneath the side of your pelvis. And that will help support that side as you reach over. Can you reach forward in that diagonal? And then can you put the hand behind your head? Or you might find that a bit tricky. If your shoulder feels a bit tight, this could be a bit tricky. Maybe it might need to go closer towards the top of your back. Can your elbow just open up a little bit and reach for the ceiling? Can you turn your head to look at your elbow? You get this open stretch down here. Can you breathe into this side? If you find it tricky sitting like this, then you come and sit cross-legged. Can you breathe underneath your armpit? Can you release that arm? Stretch back over the other side. Oh, lovely. Come back. Change sides. Change the blanket over on the other side. See what it's like without the blanket. But if you feel you can't hold yourself up on that side, it just feels a bit more, I need a bit more support, then use your blanket. Reach yourself over. Go for the diagonal in that corner of the room. Make sure you're not hunching up here towards your ear, but you're reaching from the lower part of your armpit. Hand behind the head, elbow towards the ceiling. Can you look up towards your elbow to open up this space and breathe into your armpit or breathe into your ribs? If you need to put your hand there to notice that, that's okay. You can use that as feedback. And then release, put your hand to the floor and come back over. And then come back, come right back down on your back. So it's very thin, this blanket. There's hardly anything there at all. Unless I double it up. Okay, so let's take the feet wide. Have your knees bent. Let one knee drop in. Bring it back, change sides. Bring it back and switch. So your pelvis rolls from side to side. And then walk your feet back in. Stretch your legs out. And as you breathe out, press your heels down gently into the floor. Breathe in as you release. Exhale as they press. Inhale as they release. Try and keep your feet in the middle so they're not rolled out and not rolled in. So you're pressing down on the back of the middle of your heel. Let your shoulders go. Let your jaw relax. Exhale, press the heels. Inhale, release. 2 more. And then flex your feet and then point your feet. Flex your feet and point your feet. So as you breathe out, let the feet point. Breathe in, let them flex. Breathe out, let them point. Breathe in and flex and breathe out and point. Can you do that movement from the back of your foot, from your heel? So it's not your big toe that's doing all the work. Last 2. And then relax your feet. Roll yourself over onto your side. Rest there for a moment. Notice your breath as you lie on your side. Allow your mind for a moment to notice your heartbeat. Can you just be aware of that rhythm inside your body? And then when you're ready, use your hands to slowly push yourself up. Sort your hair out. You look great. Thank you for joining me on this Sunday morning. Good work. Take care. Have a good time. Have a lovely day. Have a great week. And if I don't see you on here or in the Facebook group or in one of the Zoom sessions that we do, check out the website, melcollie.com. Otherwise, see you next Sunday. Take care. Bye.